Pardon? All right. Bill Bunch, Save Our Springs Alliance, thank you all for your service to our community. I have to say, though, that y'all are so off base, it takes my breath away. I'm a lawyer. The charter amendment is really clear in the language that we have. You don't need any of this. And every bit of this gobbledygook is designed to help you violate the charter and continue violating the charter as you have been for some time, either intentionally or inadvertently. And I think for most of you it's probably inadvertently. Y'all need to do the right thing. Just because you're good liberals and progressives, you're not above the law. You need to follow the charter. You need to ask your people to step down from the Planning Commission, because nobody's disputing that I'm hearing that you're not in violation of the charter right now with 7 of the members out of 13. The limit's 1/3. The public understands this. 2/3 shall be lay persons not directly or indirectly related to real estate and land development. That's all you need to know. People understand what that means. And you're trying to crab that down to a fraction of what that plain language means. You can't do that. If you want to draft a charter amendment and put it up and try to get the voters to approve that in November, do that. But you're not above the law. Our president's not above the law. This isn't Trump land in Austin. And people understand this. There's not one voter in 20 or 30 who thinks that real estate developers are underrepresented at City Hall and need to have this special protection so they can dominate the Planning Commission. You know, Kundera's book on laughter and forgetting starts with the observation that the struggle of people against power is the struggle of memory against forgetting. Y'all are forgetting 1994 and what happened. And the Rural Council, who was rapidly ejected, and the Rural Council that was voted in, 3 out of the 4, because the people before them, Sally Shipman, George Humphrey, and Smoot Carl Mitchell, forgot that they ran as environmentalists and neighborhood supporters who were going to manage the growth and the real estate industry. This is about flacking for the developers. All of this, whenever you say deem, that means you're going to violate the charter and ignore what the charter says. Don't do this. Forget all of this. Let's reconstitute the Planning Commission right now in compliance with the charter. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Goff.
Thank you.
And then after Bobby Levinsky is Albert Meisenbach here. You'll be up next. Go ahead, Mr. Levinsky.
Mayor and Councilwoman, it's Bobby Levinsky with Save Our Springs Alliance. I think we're getting a little bit lost in a little bit of the rhetoric and forgetting that the issue today really is, you know, how many architects and land engineers should serve on the Planning Commission per the charter that the voters voted in 1994. We're not really taking an opinion about who we want to be on the Planning Commission. It's really just what the charter says. First, if we have a bunch of houses that are being built by people who haven't used architects, I think we've got some concerns in our city. It's very clear that architects build homes, architects build buildings. Second, when I'm down here discussing all of these SOS-related cases, the people that are sitting across the table from me, there's usually a real estate attorney and an engineer. That's who we're discussing all of these land development cases are on what's beneficial for the environment with water quality. That's because they get paid by developers to do water quality improvements for that land development. They're directly connected, if not indirectly. Let me put it just another way. If architects and engineers are not connected to the real estate industry, why are there multiple architects and engineers on RECA's executive committee and the board of directors? It's because they're connected to the real estate industry. That's why they're on the real estate council. So it's pretty simple. Option, just follow the charter, I think is what should be on the table right now. So in the meantime, just obey the charter. If you want to put something different before the voters, we have a charter election in November. Let's move forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you. And Debbie Russell, is James Casey here? There you are.
Mr. Mayor and Council, thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm Albert Meisenbach, an Austin citizen. And I believe that if Austin is to grow in a way that serves a common good, we definitely need the expertise of the development community on the Planning Commission. But it would not serve the common good to show favoritism by allowing too many members on that board that stand to benefit financially. The public trust and good governance is best served by avoiding the appearance of trying to change the city charter simply to make the current inappropriate membership legal. I suggest that the city withdraw this resolution because of its inappropriateness. And barring that, I suggest that this council emphatically reject it. Please maintain and enforce the current city charter. Thank you very much.
You have 5 minutes, Mr. Russell.
We don't need it. Fred Lewis couldn't remain. He's been here since 9:30 this morning and has a 5:30 a.m. flight. So I want to point to his op-ed that appeared in the Statesman. He sent that to you at 7:30 a.m. this morning. So if you haven't read it, please read it before the end of this vote. Y'all have been doing some really amazing things lately, and there's been some votes that have made me jump up and down for joy that we have 10-1 in place now. This is not one of them. This feels very at large to me. On the one hand, you're right. This is upending democracy, plain and simple. We voted in '94 on this matter. It's settled. It's clear in the charter. You have been violating it, and now the fix is to codify that violation in the face of the voters of Austin. Over 2/3 of voters voted to have this limit. This is a conflict of interest. This is an ethics law that we have on our books, and it's been in violation. The fix is not to actually upend the law. It's to fix it, to actually make things right. Please read Fred's piece, and please do the right thing. Withdraw this. Don't ever revisit this again in this manner. If you want the voters to vote on it again, as they said, November. Thank you.
Mayor.
No. I'm just still on my computer. I'm not seeing it. But go ahead.
My name is Ray Collins. I'm opposed to these resolutions. I am more than ready for change in the way the Planning Commission is constituted. As it presently exists, it preempts our neighborhood plans analogously to the way the Texas legislature preempts Austin ordinances. However, today Council is posted to clarify the composition of the Planning Commission as per city charter. In my view, none of these draft resolutions by city legal or here on the dais provide clarification. The approach for clarification for which the council agenda is posted today, these resolutions in other words, seems unlikely to achieve that end. My suggestion is that you inquire of the Austin voters next November how they want the Planning Commission to be constituted by giving them a choice of charter amendments which include the competing definitions. Thank you. Competing definitions. Thank you.
Thank you. Megan Reisenbach.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. Thank you for your service, and thank you for working on this resolution. Again, the item seeks to clarify. I think it's very clear that the Planning Commission has 13 members as per the city charter. Only 4 of those members can be connected to development in a direct or indirect way as per the city charter. A minimum of 9 commission members must be laypersons as per the city charter. The citizens of Austin voted in 1994, as you've heard, minimum of 2/3 will be lay members. Sometimes adding more words makes things more complicated. I think the city charter can be properly changed by citizen voters so we can all support and abide by it. Council resolutions, however possibly tempting to some, do not change the city charter, and you will be guided by the highest ethics to uphold the law and honor the charter. Thank you.
Thank you.